Hello everybody, this is Goose Fox coming at you with two rated matches here in the Narrative Gundam. This is going to be 500 cost, and we're going to be on Resort Development District for both of these matches here. I believe I got these around the same time, so that's probably why both of these matches on the same map. I think it was only 500 Resort Development District at the time, but both of these matches, I did like them a lot. I believe this first match here is actually the first round I got using the narrative, so even though I think the match did go pretty well, you're going to see me make quite a few mistakes, especially when it comes to the melee of the suit, which is something I plan on getting into. But yeah, this version of the narrative, it is our third narrative, and it's essentially kind of like just a naked narrative. It's not like a B-Pax or a C-Pax. I guess the best way to describe it is that maybe this is the closest thing they could give us to a quote-unquote Apex, since, really the Apex is just a whole big unit, so I don't think we're ever going to get that as a playable unit. Would be kind of cool to see it as a boss, but, yeah, I guess, this base narrative here is really the closest we can get, and, yeah, it was part of a special step-up banner, so it's 500 cost at level 1, and it goes up to 650 at level 4, so if you do get the level 4 version of this suit, you can use it alongside the other two narrative variations. But honestly, I don't think I expected this suit to be as low as it was, but it does make for a pretty good 500 cost suit. A really good 500 cost suit, actually. Yeah, this suit's really good. Yeah, so the, well, I guess before I get into it, I guess the reason I want to use two matches here, really just, because if you don't know, I've been on a 6-week penalty, which is why for these two matches you will see that, it's probably going to take away some of my score off the penalty, because I still had level 2 at the time. This is when I was trying to make it up, so, finally got back to the good setting, and I know I post these videos on Sunday, so this is probably going to come out after the fact, but really trying to catch up on all of the recent update stuff. Probably will do that in like my Saturday stream that I'll have yesterday as well. So really just glad to be back at it, being able to cover this stuff. But yeah, Narrative Gundam, as I mentioned, a really, really good general unit. I would be surprised if this thing doesn't become a top 500 suit, because, man, they really did quite a bit with the base narrative here. So I'm gonna cover the 500 version here, since this is the only one I have. So basically just covering it at its native. But the first thing I want to talk about is your stats. Now, you pretty much have very balanced stats with the suit, and I don't mean balance as in the suit itself is balanced. I mean balance as in a lot of your stats are literally the same. So without any form of modifications, all of your ballistic, beam, and melee resistance, all your resistances are going to be 18. For your range and melee boost, they're both going to be 25. And then for your part slots as well, they're all going to be 15. This is just at level 1, but the same rule applies to all the versions from what I can see here, is that they all just have the same number for the stats. So really a really balanced suit, again with those balanced part slots. It really gives you the opportunity to kind of do whatever you want with the Narrative Gundam, which I feel like is what they were trying to do. I think they wanted it to be a very balanced stat, customizable unit, and I really like that about this suit. Obviously, you'll see that the melee is probably the strongest suit of the narrative here, because they gave it 2 melee weapons, and they're both really good. Yeah, over 3,000 and straight to the kick. Yeah, really good melee. But that does actually lead us into the weapons here. You also have a really good weapon kit. So you have the J&D type bazooka as your primary weapon. You have the Narrative Gundam Beam Saber as your first melee. And the bazooka, the J&D type bazooka, is the J&D type bazooka. I don't think it's a weapon that needs really any introduction, since it's already been on quite a few suits already, and it's a pretty standard bazooka, honestly. I don't think there's anything too specific I can say about it. And the Narrative beam saber, I believe it's the same beam saber that the B-Pax uses, but for this suit, yeah, they gave it a lunging poke downswing, which if you know me, I love mobile suits that have the lunging poke downswing, just any type of poke downswing. Absolutely love those. So, really good start for this suit here, and it does a pretty decent amount of damage. Now, the only thing you probably have to watch out for the poke is maybe hitboxes, because the Narrative Gundam is a bigger suit compared to the other 500 offerings. Personally, I don't think I've ever really had too much of an issue with it, so I don't think for anything it really should be a problem. But moving on from that, you do have a pair of head Vulcans. Pretty good pair of head Vulcans. They have pretty good damage, pretty good stun accumulation, and also pretty good range too. I feel like these Vulcans have like 250 range. Like I don't know. It doesn't feel like it should be maybe that much. Like in my head when I'm using them, but yeah, you got some pretty decent range with these Vulcans. So again, another good weapon there. You have the Narrative Gundam Beam Rifle as another sub-weapon. This is the same model of beam rifle that the Narrative C-Pax uses, but this one's obviously more tuned to be used as a sub-weapon, and it's another instant stunning weapon, so, you can always go bazooka into beam rifle, or beam rifle into bazooka. Either one of those I feel like tend to work, so, pretty much a standard instant stunning beam rifle. And then you have the Narrative Gundam Blow, and they call it the Blow, they really should call it the Kick, because it pretty much uses the, Federation kick pattern, except for the downswing. So the downswing is a forward flying kick, and when I did my testing video I thought it was maybe something like the Woundwarts, but from what I've been told it's actually very similar to the God Gundam, which is really cool because God Gundam is PC exclusive, so having something that kinda has that moveset in, this game, in the PS4 version with the Narrative Gundam, it's actually, really cool touch, and it's a really nice kick. Yeah, you can easily combo into the beam saber into the kick, or you can just kind of do it the other way as well. Really, when I try to do it, I think I try to go with the kick first, because with the kick into beam saber, I think it's much easier to follow up with another kick, mainly just due to the animation when you are coming down from the kick. If you go beam saber in the kick, I don't think you can really get a second beam saber off in time. I think you gotta get kind of lucky with it, so again, I find the other pattern to be a bit more effective in that front, and unfortunately did knock over my teammate there trying to finish off the NTX, and yeah, really put a sorry in the chat there, because yeah, I don't think it would have given us enough score to win, but still felt bad about missing the downswing. That's why I said how this is the first match. Really do make some mistakes here, but before I continue on here, did get top in damage, and third place overall at 6 kills and 3 loss, so not too bad for the first match here. The second match here is going to be a win, and I think I do end up playing a bit better in this one than I did that first one, so yeah. We'll continue on here with what I was saying with the Blow. Again, yeah, Narrative Gundam Blow, really good. And then for your skills, the ones that I really want to focus on is that you do have a double dodge roll. You do have maneuver armor. You actually have aerial melee system with this, which actually applies to the kick. So, if you thought the kick couldn't get any better, yeah, you can fly in the air and just use it while you're in the air. So, yeah, really, just a really effective weapon here. And the levels I'm giving are only for the level 1 version. Some of the other, the higher level narratives, they do get higher level versions of some of these skills. But, yeah, really, you just got a really good skill list as well. Quick Boost level 2, I already mentioned double dodge roll, anti-blast stabilizer, flight control program level 2. You do have 2 melee swings for each of your weapons, so yeah, really, that's really what I'm saying here when I say the Narrative Gundam is just a really good suit at its native cost. They gave it a pretty decent kit, so Yeah, I would definitely say, well, actually, I think it's probably too late now. I don't think the Narrative Gundam banner is around anymore, which really makes me wish I could have made this video earlier to say, if you do have the opportunity to get at least just the level 1 Narrative Gundam, I would have said definitely get it, because, again, it's just a really... I have had a lot of fun using this suit, and I've also had a lot of wins using this suit. So, actually, one of the matches I had too, I was using the narrative rated, and I actually beat my high score for damage. So, I think that's a pretty good sign for how, well this suit performs, that I'm at 500 and I'm just able to just beat my damage high score. But, yeah, I really don't know. Oh, I guess I could go into some flaws. So some flaws, I guess I could go with the Narrative Gundam here, is that, since you do have those long, lunging melee patterns, you do have to make sure you don't get countered. Probably since I was playing the suit pretty early on, I think maybe not everyone was used to the melee pattern yet, so, maybe it was a bit harder for people to plan the counters too. Or this is the other thing too, you have the skill that lets you immediately boost after you get out of a clash. That's another really good thing with this suit here. But, yeah, the melee pattern, I'm sure once, the suit is... more people get used to fighting against the narrative, I'm sure more players are going to get used to the melee pattern, because it is better to use when you are further back, because you can recover from it quicker. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's something that kind of changes over time, where the melee pattern, it becomes a bit more predictable, and people are able to counter it a little bit better. That's something we'll just have to wait and see for, but another thing too is that you are a bit of a larger suit at 500, and the resistances being balanced and whatnot, that might be an issue too with the 18 melee resistance each. I've been able to put parts on to increase all of my defense stats to 24, so that is, something you can do. A fix you can do with, custom parts if you so please. Another thing too with that is that, your HP have 18,000, so yeah, that's another thing too. So maybe if you think the HP is low, again, that's another thing. But even though you are a tall suit, you are also a pretty skinny suit. I mean, the suit is literally described as being a scarecrow in its own movie. So, pretty par for the course there. For the other weaknesses, I think that's really it, honestly. At least if we're talking in terms of the native cost version, those are the only flaws that I can really think of when it comes to this suit. Really, everything else about it is it's just good. It's just good, and I think the suit being as balanced as it is stat-wise, I think is what's kind of helping with that, because I wanted to focus on a melee build for this suit. I already knew with the beam saber and the blow, the kick, I already knew that was going to be my primary means of doing damage, so really try to focus more on melee, but since your stats are so balanced, even the range weapons, I don't think I really have anything on them to boost my range damage. Even the range damage is still, really good for this suit, and I find myself getting finishers quite a lot with my range weapons, especially the J-Gun-D type bazooka. That one, I feel like I have gotten quite a few finishers with this weapon, after finishing a melee pattern, so a lot of them I didn't expect to get either, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for the Narrative Gundam. Again, it's definitely a suit that I think at its native cost is worth having. I have seen it at higher costs as well, but that tends to be the case with most of these special banner suits, so I don't know how long I'm going to be seeing it at higher costs. I'm sure once more things come out, it's probably going to switch up a bit, but definitely at its native cost, I've already been seeing this suit quite a handful of times. I've seen, big teams of them. I was on a team where I think it was, 3 Narrative Gundams. I was one of them, so already, popular pick by the looks of it. So, again, I can definitely see this being a pretty strong contender for a new meta 500 unit. Yeah. I don't think there's too much else I can really say outside of that. Man, I just wish I could have made this video when its banner was out, because then I could have actually, you know, kind of said like, hey, the suit's really good, you need to go get it. But, you know, I mean, I feel like it, again, from the amount of people I've seen who do have the Narrative Gundam, I do believe that, you know, a good number of people were able to get their hands on it, because, I mean, it's a guaranteed pool if you do either of the levels, so it seems like a large number of players have it. There we go. Oh, nope, didn't get the finish. I thought I was going to get the finish with the bazooka there, but nope, got it with the beam rifle. But, oh, another thing too, the Narrative Gundam is scarily good at doing colors from the Strike line of Gundams. So, like, this match here, I tried to do the Strike Gundam colors, and the match before this, it was the Strike Rouge colors, so I was surprised how well the suit was able to adapt these colors. The only thing you can't do is, you know, some like the vents detailing, because the vents are all part of the chest piece, but other than that, yeah, you can really do some interesting paint schemes if, you know, you really put your mind to it. Let's see, waiting to see what my, okay, the mobile suit almost sunk through the floor there, but, yeah, we'll let the last match play out here, you know, I'll wrap up this video, and probably just, you know, talk about a few little more update things about maybe my plans for the future, since, well, we finally, again, I'm out of penalty, so I have quite a bit lined up, but try to get one more downswing, unfortunately did miss, but, hey, looks like we did win the match, so that's going to be good works in the side chat, mission completed, so let's see how we did here with this second narrative match. And top in individual and top in damage. And first place with 6 kills and 3 loss. And I mean, unfortunately, yeah, there was that penalty level 2. Really didn't amount to anything at the time because I had to play so many matches just to get it down. But like I said, finally did it. And that's going to be it for my 2 matches for the narrative. So yeah, really, I've already been gathering more clips, some of the newest stuff. I know the nerfed Jan Fjäven, that is definitely on the list. That's probably going to be the video I have after this one. Because I made that first video before it got nerfed, so I really want to make the follow-up on that as soon as possible, just so that one doesn't get hidden and left in the dust. So that'll probably be the next one. But there are some other matches that I have been gathering, some on newer stuff and some on just, you know, just kind of other smaller things. So really, you know, now that we're back, we are so back. I'm so excited about that. You know, expect a lot more newer matches, you know, none of the older matches that I was using. I'm pumped. I'm motivated. I'm once again motivated to really just keep going with this, you know. So yeah, I think that's everything I have to say for this video here. Moral of the story, base Narrative Gundam is good. I wish I had the other 2 narratives just to kind of do a comparison, but for this base naked narrative here, really good suit. I'm going to end things here before I go on for too long, and you know, comment down below what you think about the Narrative Gundam. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and with that, I will see you all in the next one. Later.